Hi everyone, DeGe here. So you might be noticing something about this episode and how it's a Cinema Dash episode and not a one-off episode. See, one-offs are more usually reserved for like little 5 to 10 minute segments or little mini reviews and stuff like that. And obviously Cinema Dash videos are our main thing and they are more long form. So you might be noticing that Gabs is not on this episode. And the reason is because Gabs didn't really like Arrival all that much, and he didn't have really anything to say about it. He thought it was kind of boring, and yeah, he just didn't want to, talk about it because he didn't really have much to say about it. So instead, I'm going to be taking the reins on this episode. It's going to be a longer format one, so it's not going to be a one-off. And yeah, so without further ado, let's start the episode. So, when I first heard about Arrival, I was actually kind of excited for it. Denis Villeneuve is currently one of my favorite working directors nowadays. He hasn't made a movie that I haven't liked. So, he's made a bunch of great ones. Sicario, Enemy, Prisoners, just to name a few. And when I heard he was tackling a sci-fi alien movie, I got super excited because sci-fi is literally my favorite genre of anything, any medium ever. So I got really excited, and I heard it was going to be an alien invasion movie, which also got me super excited because we haven't seen many of those lately, and whatever alien invasion movies we have gotten have been kind of bad. But anyway, so when I saw he was tackling this movie, I was really excited. Then I learned that it wasn't going to be like a invasion, like explosions, aliens killing people, harvesting them for whatever reason. It was going to be a literary sci-fi movie. It was going to be a movie about dialogue, about characters, about relationships between the aliens and the people. And I got even more excited because we don't see that really at all lately. And it's usually, just aliens coming down, fucking everybody up, and then, we rise up in the revolution and stuff like that. But I was really happy to see that this wasn't going to be an action thriller. This was going to be a thriller, but about characters and about development and relationships between the aliens and the humans. So, needless to say, again, very excited. So we saw this movie about maybe 2 days ago from when I'm recording this, and yeah. So, needless to say, yeah, we saw it. I don't know why I said needless to say, but whatever. Anyway, my thoughts about this movie is I think it might be the best movie that I've seen all year. I'm gonna have to go and recheck all the scores that I gave prior to this video, but I honestly think this might be my contender for movie of the year when we eventually get to our top movies of the year list that's coming later in December. I absolutely adored this fucking movie. Like, this movie is phenomenal in every aspect of the word. There are no amount of positive things or words that have been created in the English language that I could say to emphasize how much I love this movie. It's incredible. Just to start off, I'm gonna get into what I love about the movie. First off, the direction by Denis Villeneuve is out of this world phenomenal. Pun totally intended. It's incredible. He is so subtle in his direction, and everything just flows together perfectly. The actors have so much chemistry on screen together. The shot composition is gorgeous. Just the way everything comes together and it becomes so intense and thrilling, and everything just about it, and the sense of mystery in the movie is just incredible. Denis Villeneuve has directed he's had an incredible feat when directing this movie. He utilizes his shot composition in such a way that it feels I don't know how to describe it. It feels otherworldly and surreal at some points, and then feels like a straight up thriller at other points, and then feels like an emotional heavyweight at other points. it's so many different aspects of direction just melded into one that he successfully manages to pull off, and it's incredible. Like, this should be the gold standard for direction in any movie ever, because it's just so smooth and confident in the way that he handles the pacing and structure of this movie. Speaking of pacing, it's a very, very slow paced movie, which is gonna turn some people off, I think. But honestly, if you stick with the movie for maybe past the first 20 minutes, you will. It's just great from then on. That's not to say the first 20 minutes are bad. We get a lot of character development, which I really appreciate, because the characters in this movie are great. Amy Adams gives a really great performance in this movie. Jeremy Renner's really good too. Forrest Whitaker's great. Michael Stuhlbarg is great. Everybody in this movie gives a great performance. They really look like they want to be there and want to make this movie good. But when it comes to the first 20 minutes, it's very, very slow paced. It moves at really, really a snail's pace. But that's not to say that it's not interesting, because we get to learn about all these characters and stuff like that. And the pacing is complemented by some gorgeous cinematography. This is probably the best cinematography I've seen all year in a movie. I don't really know if we're going to count The Revenant for this year, because we saw it this year, but it came out last year. So I don't know. I'm going to have to discuss it with Gabs on that, but this is probably the most gorgeous looking movie I've seen all year. Excuse me. And in regards to the pacing, it's, again, camera movement's very, very slow. A lot of pans, a lot of slow zoom-ins on like important things. It's very, very slow paced, for the sake of being redundant. But yeah, it's gorgeous. There isn't a lot of color in this movie, I would say. It feels like more of like an indie flick, where like people are walking in fields and stuff like that. It's very reminiscent of Terrence Malick and David Lowery and the way they shoot their films, with a lot of wheat fields with the sun setting and stuff like that. But they're gorgeous. They're phenomenal. They're great shots. And even the shots of them in the bunker, Denis Villeneuve chooses very specific angles for the way he films dialogue scenes, and the way he films how they research the alien language and stuff like that. And it's very, very interesting to see the way he composes his shots throughout the entirety of the film. What else did I like about this movie? The visuals were pretty good as well. I was actually really surprised, because I was looking up the budget for this movie, and I think it was in between the 42 to 45 million range. And I was like, that's really not a lot of... It's not a lot of money for like a movie like this. And the visuals looked impressive. Like, they were fine. They looked real. And they were great. They're nowhere near Doctor Strange's level, obviously, because that's a $200 million movie that had the best VFX team money could buy. But for this movie, the VFX team really pulled off the look of the aliens and the ships that they had and everything. It looked great. And I was really, really surprised and really intrigued as to how they handled the aliens in this movie. Obviously, they didn't have a huge VFX budget, so they kind of shrouded the aliens behind like these clouds and stuff like that. So you could see them, but they weren't fully detailed and stuff like that. So I thought it was a really clever way to save money, and you could see the general figure of these aliens. And I thought that was really, really clever, the way they did that. And eventually you do get to see what the aliens look like up close and up and personal and stuff like that. And I think they're great designs. I think they're really, really cool. I won't go into what they look like, because that would kind of ruin the suspense and the big reveal and stuff like that. But needless to say, I think they look very, very cool. Other than that, visuals were great. Cinematography, fantastic. Amy Adams is great in this movie. She gives a very kind of subdued performance at times, and then when she does need to get emotional, she really, really sells it. And I can't really go into why she gets emotional, because I'm not going to spoil. I'm going to really try to not spoil anything about this movie, because the less you know about this movie, the better, I think. And it's really the what happens in the movie is absolutely incredible. It blew my fucking mind. But anyway, Amy Adams, great performance in this movie. Jeremy Renner is also very good in this movie. He plays a theoretical physicist that's a little he's really quippy, and he's got some really great lines in the movie. Forrest Whitaker, he's really good at the general. He's from Boston, and he has a pretty okay accent. He doesn't really sell that he's from Boston, but he, needless to say, gives a pretty good performance. And Michael Stuhlbarg is also great in this movie. He plays like one of the commanding officers in the tent that they're all stationed in under the alien ship, and he gives a pretty good performance as well. Yeah, acting in this movie, all great. Amy Adams, I don't think she's going to get nominated for an Oscar for this, but she did give a very compelling performance, and I was really happy to see Amy Adams in a role in which she has room to maneuver, instead of like in Batman v Superman, where she was just restricted to this very annoying character. So it was really cool to see Amy Adams get a chance to show off her true acting chops in this movie, and that's again in part to Denis Villeneuve's great direction. What else? The story's phenomenal. I think it's about, Amy Adams is a linguist, and she has to translate this alien language, and that's really all I'm going to go into, because again, the less you know about this movie, the better. But it's phenomenal. It's great. It's one of the best stories I've heard all year, and the writing is great as well. A lot of really great chemistry in between all of the characters, and not just between Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner, also between Amy Adams and Forrest Whitaker and Michael Stuhlbarg. They all have really great chemistry on screen together. And again, they really sell the fact that they want to be here. They really want to make this movie, and they really want to make it succeed. And it's really nice to see that. So they all give great performances, and the writing is fantastic. When it comes to things that I did not like about the movie, there really aren't any. I have like 2 nitpicks, and they won't lower my score at all. Forrest Whitaker doesn't really have the best accent throughout the entire movie, and it's just not that great, but he tried, and he gives a good performance. So I mean, whether that's a deal breaker for you, I don't know. It wasn't really a deal breaker for me, but I just didn't get the fact that he's from Boston. Like, it wasn't that great of an accent. But and the other really small nitpick that I have is that Jeremy Renner's character is kind of useless. He is great in the movie. He really is only in the movie to serve a plot point, and he like doesn't figure out anything. He like figures out one thing on his own, and then whenever Amy Adams figures something out, he's just kind of like, oh, nice, yeah, and I helped, and I helped, and yeah, Jeremy Renner is just kind of just there, but that doesn't mean he was bad. Again, I thought he was great in this movie, but it's just, I would have really liked to see Jeremy Renner have a little bit more to do in this movie, instead of just kind of being the background guy where he's just doing research and just contributing to what Amy Adams found, in a sense. And this movie, this movie's also, it's really, once they start meeting the aliens, it gets really intense. Like, the way that they handle Amy Adams meeting with the aliens is just thrilling. Like, you get the same amount of like shock and awe that Amy Adams gets and Jeremy Renner gets when they both meet the aliens for the first time, and the times after that. They start to get more comfortable and it's genius, really. The audience gets like this sense of shock and awe when they meet him, and then as the movie progresses and they meet with the aliens multiple times throughout the movie, you start to warm up to them, you start to get more comfortable with them and stuff like that, and it's just the way the characters are as well, and it's genius, and I loved that aspect about the movie. Some other miscellaneous things that caught my attention were like, besides the gorgeous cinematography, the visuals, the acting, I really have nothing else to say about this movie. I mean, I think it was incredible. It was probably the best movie I've seen all year. Again, I'll have to change it. I'll have to check, but I don't know. It might be my number 1 this year. I don't know yet. I'll have to do some researching. But Yeah, I think for next season, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start writing down the scores that we give our movies, because at this point I'm gonna have to go back into every single video that we've done on season 2, and just write down the scores that we gave the movies, and then make our top 10 lists based on that, or top 5, or whatever we're planning on doing. But yeah, some plans for going ahead is we're definitely going to see some movies that are coming out. Look for a Manchester by the Sea review, because we're definitely going to go try to see that. A Moonlight review, we're going to go try to see that as well. It's just the problem is Gabs and I don't live in an area where there's a lot of like independent art house cinemas and stuff like that. So we're not really able to see all the movies that get a lot of critical praise, and like smaller indie flicks like Moonlight and yeah, Manchester by the Sea. Like when we saw It Follows, we had to go maybe 45 minutes away, half an hour away, to go see It Follows. But granted, it was worth the drive. But I don't know. It's just we have to drive there, and yeah. So look for a Moonlight review soon, hopefully, and a Manchester. We're definitely gonna watch Manchester by the Sea because that's coming on Amazon Prime. So we're definitely gonna sit down and watch that, and Moonlight as well. I don't know if Gabs said he didn't want to see Fantastic Beasts, but I really do. So probably look for a one-off on that if I go see it, or if maybe a Cinema Dash episode if me and Gabs go see it. We don't know yet. We're still trying to figure that out. And I was planning, and we were planning on doing something special for the month of February up until March. And what we were going to do was we were going to watch every single X-Men movie, from X-Men to all the way up to Apocalypse, and we were going to review them. Now, granted, we haven't done an X-Men Apocalypse review. Well, Gabs recorded a one-off for his X-Men Apocalypse review. I didn't get a chance to see it. And he had some trouble with our recording software and sending the audio to me to edit, to put into an episode and stuff like that. So that's sitting in the Cinema Dash vault. If I ever get a chance to like fix the audio and stuff like that, I'll probably put it up as like a lost episode or something. I know we only have one of those, but I think we have a bit more that we can upload that aren't broken. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. So that's a pretty cool announcement that I'm making. Yeah, so we're gonna be watching every single X-Men movie, reviewing them, putting them up on the channel and stuff like that. We'll have a little playlist. We are planning on doing an Oscar video as well for when that time goes around, so we're gonna do another one of those, and maybe a little something for New Year's. All I know is that for every single season that we do, I really try to improve the quality of the season, improve the quality of the previous season to this season. So for instance, if you listen to our season 1, our audio was shit. We don't have any thumbnails. Like, we didn't know what we were talking about half the time. But with this season, I really think our production quality improved. I started making custom thumbnails and stuff like that using Photoshop and stuff. I started, really paying attention to how to edit the audio and edit the video itself. Our audio definitely has improved, and I learned how to use a mic. I'm actually saving up for a better mic and a mic stand, so hopefully around sometime next season we'll be getting even better audio quality. If not, maybe season 4. But yeah, we're gonna be doing this, as long as humanly possible, until one of us moves to California or New York or whatever. But we're definitely gonna be doing this as long as possible, because we love doing this and stuff like that. So yeah, just a little bit of a mini update onto the direction of where the channel is going. Arrival, phenomenal movie, 9.5 out of 10. Again, I'm just lowering it 0.5 because of those little nitpicks. I know it said it wouldn't affect my score, but like, whatever, fuck it, I don't care. 9.5 out of 10. One of my favorite movies of the year, if not my favorite movie of the year. Definitely look for our top 10 video, or top 5 or top 10. We have yet to decide our top movies of the year video that's coming out soon. We might do actually a worst movie of the year video as well. So again, everything's all up in the air right now, but definitely look for a Manchester by the Sea review, and hopefully a Moonlight review, and hopefully a Fantastic Beasts by the Sea review. By the Sea, what the fuck am I talking about? Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them review. So yeah, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate you sticking through the rest of this video to listen to our little mini update thing. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and here's what our outro looks like.